everybody, Nova here from GetPharmacyAdvice.com. I'm coming at you with some general information about multivitamins. Woohoo! The reason I'm doing this is for a couple of reasons. One is people ask a lot of questions about vitamins, specifically multivitamins. And because it's my standby. If someone says they're feeling sluggish or just not themselves, number one question, are you taking a multivitamin? Multivitamins are a quick, easy way to finish out or complete our diet. Of course, it's best to get all your nutrients from your diet, but how often does that really happen? So the multivitamin is just a really good habit to start, one a day, not a big deal. So we're going to start with the youngsters, the infant vitamins. To go over that really quickly, there is the liquid, it's polyvisol or trivisol. The poly has a bunch of poly, it has a lot of different vitamins. Trivisol only has 3, A, D, and C. And those two come with or without iron, so you want to clarify that with your doctor before you give it to the baby. Also about the youngsters is a lot of patients, parents want to give like their vitamins to their young ones. Usually above the age of 15, it's not a big deal. However, below that you want to be careful because a lot of adult vitamins have alcohol in them somewhere in the recipe. So you just want to be careful with that. So moving along, they're talking about teens. There are some teen vitamins out there, and people always ask me, are generics the same? Yes. I totally go for the generics, right? Next to Centrum, the generic, I think it's just as good, it works just as well. I do think that if you can find a teen one or an over 50-year-old one, you should take that. Because a lot of times the men's over 50, it has some lycopene in there for prostate health, and for women it usually has a little bit more vitamin D and vitamin D and calcium in there. If you do, the energy ones usually have B complexes, so you want to look out for those. And you want to be careful about any weight loss vitamins, because usually that means that they just have a diuretic in there and it's not really helping. Or maybe it has some caffeine, which is a diuretic, but you know, that kind of thing. So typically those won't be that helpful. Also to go over is fat-soluble versus water-soluble vitamins. Fat-soluble, that means that they can build up in your system more easily than the water-soluble. Typically water-soluble, like vitamin C, if you take too much of that, your body can just pee it out. So it pees all the extra out. Of course, if you take too much and your body can't keep up with it and pee it out fast enough, it can cause diarrhea, so that's not good. So you want to be careful. Fat-soluble, you have to be extra careful with. Fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. And what that means is that it's easy enough, not easy, but it's harder for your body to regulate those, so if you keep taking vitamin A, that you can build up and get to a toxic level. So you want to be really careful with that. Also iron. Some multivitamins have iron in them already. You should not take iron unless you actually have an iron deficiency, which is easy enough to check at your doctors. They usually do like a finger prick or a blood draw, something like that, to check your iron level. But you do not want to take iron in your vitamin if you do not have a low iron level, because you can become iron toxicity. You can get iron toxicity. So a couple of things. People, number one complaint is it hurts their belly and it makes them feel nauseous. Sometimes they throw up and they don't want to take their multivitamin. I get it. So two things you can do here. One is take it with a meal. You want to avoid milk products, yogurt, anything like that, because it can decrease the absorption of some of the vitamins. And I know people are listening like, yeah, I take it with me, I don't care, I still throw up. So number two, this is a big one, take a chewable one. They have, usually you can take 2 kids chewables. Now there's a big gummy thing in the adult world. So gummies, Centrum has a chewable. Viactive, which was known for its calcium, now has a multivitamin. It's like a chocolate chewable, not too bad. And what that does is that most times people who feel nauseous when they take a multivitamin, it's actually because of the casing that goes on the multivitamin. So if you take a chewable, you chew that up and your belly doesn't have to deal with it, and it usually solves 99.9% of the time. People who feel nauseous with multivitamins can take it if it's a chewable. So I hope I didn't belabor the fact of multivitamins. And if this raises any questions, if you want to know anything, just shoot me an email or leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.